Welcome back to the channel, everybody. I'm Z James. This is Z32 Workshop, and this beside me is my lovely 1993 Nissan 300ZX convertible that I am doing rear suspension upgrades that you've all been following with me so far. Previous videos, we've gotten the rear toe links taken care of, the front upper links taken care of, the passenger side upper control arms done. And now we're going to work on the driver's side upper control arm. Last video, I took the bolt out so I can get the rear front upper link removed. So I get it out of the way, because the way the bolts pull out, you have to just do that. I actually had to cut the bolt on the inside. That's always fun. That's the cheap, easy way to do it. Factory way would have been having to remove the whole filler pipe to go do that for the tank. I don't recommend doing that. That's a pain. Let's see here. This one, since that bolt's loose, only got to remove the cam bolt and back, and then the bottom bolt for the shock. Wow, I'm just having spacey on a spacey today. So once I can do that, I should be able to remove it, get it sized properly for what I need, put in the new one, and adjust accordingly. And then tighten it up. The big thing on tightening it up is getting the shock put back on. I may skip a step on that and wait until I get the struts done for the torque settings, but I'll put them in the descriptions below for everybody so they know what the torque settings should be. If you don't have to do that, but I will be doing the my shocks, my Koni shocks next time with stuff. So yeah, well, this video we're gonna take the rest. Let me take this, show you where we're at right now. Let me get my lights on so you can see a little better. My professional lighting that I have here, which is non-professional at all best. This one's out already. That one's gonna come out. That's 19mm back there to get that cam bolt out. Hopefully it's not a pain in the butt. And then this bolt right here to get the shock so I can move it in a little bit. So I get it off here to get this arm out on this. Last video I torqued these up to spec and everything tightened down, so that should be good to go. This is good to go. Then I need to replace this guy. So that's what we're gonna do. I'll probably put you guys on time lapse for this since you've already seen it done once before, but you just got nut on the backside, bolt up front, and the same thing here. So, all right, everybody? So let's count it down. 3, 2, 1, time. rough time warp, everybody. It's out. Had a problem with the cam bolt again. It's the washer on the backside. This one didn't get messed up because I realized it was fighting me as much as it was because I got it loose. It gets under the threads, pinch, like that. To where it's almost 180 degrees backwards from where it's at. So I'm hanging on to it because they are unique, but they're a pain in the butt. It's a good thing there's a replacement. Now, I didn't show you last time because I didn't know I was doing it until I did it this time. But I added a washer to the backside just because they are a little thicker, and unlike the other components, which I found highly weird, that the other ones for the Torms came with really thick washers. These didn't come with any. No washers whatsoever, so I don't know what the issue is. But I wanted to have a washer here as a shoulder for when I clamp it. I did it to the other side. I didn't show you that. What I added was a 1-inch washer with a 1/2-inch hole. So you get a nice clamping force. Now, what I'm doing now, just like last time, is I am going to adjust this center bolt here. Not twisting this, because I need to go all the way down and all the way down. To get it so this thing is at its stock lowest configuration, which I won't do, but now I need to adjust this thing to grow. And I need to have it come out evenly as much as possible. And it should be, yeah, counterclockwise. Once, come on, come on. And that's like a 32mm wrench. You know, something you can go club somebody with if you're in a back alley. You know, something nice and meaty. So it should adjust accordingly. Come on. This is just being a pain in the butt. Sorry it's taking so long, everybody. But I am going to do this in real time so people can see what it takes. Because this doesn't take all that much to do. But like I said, 32mm wrench on this. I lied to you on these. The front bolts here were, I think, 17, and these were 17. I am sorry about that. I'll double check them, and I'll put it in the description for sure below. Alright, so that's getting to be pretty close. I remember correctly, I think I can get this one do it? No. Need my other one, don't I? Sorry about that, everybody. Didn't think my caliper could do it. But my handy dandy, trustworthy, these should be the same as the other side. Steel ruler here. It's going to give me a distance of, put a bolt in here so it gives me something to measure against, because I'm going inside edge to inside edge. Looks like that is close to 11 3/4 of an inch. Is what I'm going to set that to. And that should be the same as the other side that I did earlier. So 11 3/4 inch. Let's get that out of the way. And let's get you up to 11 3/4 of an inch. So what I'm doing here is just growing this out to the appropriate length. And we've got at least a 1/2 inch to go on this. So now what I'm doing is just twisting that center one and trying to recenter everything up back below. Still have got a long way. I should be able to do that without that bolt in there, because this is thinner material than everything else. Ooh, we're getting there, folks. Let me check it this way. It might be a little easier for me to read. Not quite there. This one, to be honest with you, has to come out a long ways. It's a little frightening, to be fair with you. That is a little over 11.5. Once again, these are SPC performance parts. These actually work on, everything I'm putting on actually works for a 240SX and a 300ZX. It's a little amazing, to be honest with you. You know what? That looks good enough to get me within spec so I can get it to an alignment shop. All right, so now that I've got this close, I'm going to take this nut, which is a left-handed nut, because you notice I'm spinning it counterclockwise and move it this way in to get it so it's pretty tight. Not 100%, but fair enough. Now this other side, these use an 8mm Allen. Okay, so 8mm Allen. We're going to tighten this down pretty tight because realistically I do not want this thing coming loose at all. And once this gets tight, it's going to be pretty good. Now I may have to loosen these up a little bit on the car to get it so it centers up halfway decently. Because right now these are, see, that's a little loose still, and that's fine. This guy I'm actually going to torque pretty good. But I realize when I torque one, I need to torque the other because this material doesn't go all the way through. In fact, this thing's only hanging on by that, about an inch. Which I am hoping is good. That's a little frightening. I'm going to be honest with you guys. But who knows when I get the adjustment when I lower this down. It should, in theory, lower down. This should come in. This should come in. So you'd have to loosen these up, tighten it up. It would have been a lot cooler if they made this a one-piece jam nut design to where there would have been another jam nut here, to be honest with you. But I'm not a fabricator, nor do I know how these things actually work on car, which is a big thing too. Okay, so that's pretty good. This guy here will get jam nutted on when I actually put it on. It should be another 27mm. So I'm going to put this back on car. Be time lapse. Remember, this is in the inside. This is a left-handed nut. This is a normal threaded, so righty tighty, lefty loosey, lefty loosey, righty tighty, righty tighty, lefty. Yeah. So if I hopefully said that right. So the issue gets to be is I want this facing downward. Let me check my other side, but I'm fairly sure I have that facing downward. The issue gets to be is the shock isn't, I'm assuming on a 240SX, this thing is a lot more centered here. Whereas the Nissan 300ZX, it's a little more like this. It's a little farther in, so you don't have a whole lot of clearance room in here. Now there is room, it clears. It's the reason why it can go on the car. But it's a little off-centered from the inside loop, which doesn't reflect any type of geometry or performance. It's just, you got clearance issues, is what it turns into on this. Torque specs, I will actually look them up for you right now. Once again, on the handy dandy app. Let's see here, get off Facebook, because no one needs to be on that right now. Let's see here, 300 Nissan Z32 service manual. We'll do this rear suspension. Page on over. Forward march. Upper, well, this is technically called the upper link rear. Everyone calls it the upper control arm. So, looks like both bolts, actually they're different. The inner side here, let me show this to you. Inner side is 51 to 85 foot-pounds, and the outer is 57 to 72. Sorry, the inner is 51 to 65. The outer is 57 to 72. Now remember, I'm reading the outside numbers there on this because they list you all sorts of different ways. I've done it before, I'll show it again. Inner number is Newton meters. The middle number is kilogram meters. And the other one is foot-pounds. English foot-pounds, that's what I got. So that's what we're doing. Once again, that's the app. I really recommend it to everybody. I'm gonna throw this on the car, time-lapse it, And then I will see if I can get this torqued to spec with the shock halfway in place, as is, for both sides, because I still need to do it. I don't know if I'll fight that hard for it. I'll find out. Because realistically, the next maneuver is going to be replacing the rear shocks with conies. Now, one would think I should go after the bottom A-arms to get those out, but that's a pain. And right now I have the bottom of the shock out. I mean, it bolts out. So it's easy enough just to drop it out of from the inside of the car out. Now on a convertible, it's different. I'll go over that in the next video. That will not be tonight, that will be later. So let's get this on and we'll be good to go. So 3, 2, 1, time warp. That's gonna do it for tonight, folks. Or today, whenever this video gets posted. Sorry about all the moving around. Inside bolts, 18mm. LSA bolts, 19mm. Don't know if I said that. I set them at like 62 foot-pounds. Sort of split the difference. I mean, I know they're different torque specs, but they're within range of each other. If that makes any sense. One's lower and one's upper end, so I split the difference. So I set the. Then I went through and checked all the left-handed nuts. And did that, left-handed threads, the jam nuts. on everything there for all the suspension components. I got the other side up and compressed. I just put the bolts in, compressed the whole suspension, so those are all done. So the next thing I will work on will probably be the, I don't know, maybe shocks, maybe a lower control arm. I haven't decided yet, to be honest with you, everybody. These videos are coming out way later than I want, but I need to space them out a little bit. Not just for content, just need them edited and everything else like that. My editing software is not the greatest, not the most expensive. Sort of like my tools and everything else. Working on a budget, and you just gotta deal with what you got. So let's recap of what I did today. We'll go back and look at the car. Just to show everyone real fast. Upper control arms in. There is room. Hopefully you can see that. This almost kisses, but it doesn't. When the suspension is fully dropped. When it's compressed, there's more room. I'll show you another side. So far this process, rear toe link, front link, rear front upper link, and our rear upper link, which is the upper control arm. It's not an arm per se as an A-arm like the lower A-arm is. These two handle the suspension geometry there. That one's there. Bolts in at the bottom. Let's go to the passenger side, since I torqued them all down at the same time. Now this one is under compression, and you should be able to see a lot more gap there. But notice how this thing isn't centered into this. I'm assuming it's the geometry of the 300ZX versus the 240SX. I hate saying I'm using 240SX parts because there's some, you know, snobbery, but I don't care. I wanted bushings. I didn't want hemispherical joints. They work. A lot of components interchangeable. So this should work for all the geometry I want to get done on it. The only issue I did run into, hopefully you can see it, is these welds are too close to these bolts, so you really can't get on them too hard or too much. Just on this side, it's really weird. I ran into it, I didn't think much about it, but it really is. It's on both sides. So yeah, bolts in here. I did have to go a little crazy on twisting the shock. I don't know why I did that. I don't know if that spring's doing that, which still doesn't make sense to me. But I really had to twist it to get it into place on the backside. Like one side wouldn't line up the other side, so I had to get, you know, a pair of pliers and just rotate it. Yeah. So once again, everybody, I know this is probably a longer video, but I need to get this stuff done, wrapped up. Because realistically, if I wanted to, I could put the bottom bolts back in, well, put the nuts on and torque them up and get this thing aligned and drive the car. I don't. I still have more parts to go on, namely the Koni shocks and lower control arms. The Koni shocks will go, I have all four. It's not just the rear, but this video series and playlist I got is for the rear suspension. I'll maybe make a playlist for the front suspension. I wish I would have recorded stuff prior to me working on my car, but I didn't. Maybe some video I'll go through the exterior mods I've done to the car, engine mods, compared to the interior mods that I've done on the car, so everyone sort of knows where the car is at, document it. Yeah, so that's where I'm at with most of the process. So anyway, if you have any comments or questions, hit me up in the comments, because that would make sense. And please like and subscribe. This channel is very tiny, but I'm trying to be informative and useful and helpful to everybody, including myself, to document what I did. So if I did anything wrong or stupid, let me know, or I'll find out when it breaks, which hopefully doesn't kill me, ever. I don't ever want that. That's a terrible idea. So if I do anything wrong, let me know. The only thing I didn't think I could probably put on for most of the stuff is I probably could have put a little bit of blue Loctite on some of the stuff for suspension components, just so they don't come back off. I think they're going to be probably pretty stout and sound, but I could be wrong. So once again, everybody, take care. I'll see you in the next video, and bye.